Get prepared for what may well be a stunning assault on Canadians by a sitting Prime Minister. After proroguing Parliament, Justin Trudeau has given more than a few clues that he is planning a radical redesign of the Canadian economy. Ministers and senior bureaucrats have been told to, quote, reimagine Canada. Parliament will reconvene on September 23rd with a throne speech, which will automatically be subject to a confidence vote in the government. The opposition Conservatives and the Bloc Québécois will undoubtedly vote against it. The Greenies will likely vote with the Liberals. What remains to be seen is how Jagmeet Singh and his NDP group will vote. If he props up the minority Liberal government, I believe he will have relegated the NDP to perpetual also-rans. Never again will they be taken seriously as a political party, as they were back in the days of Jack Layton. Jagmeet Singh is no Jack Layton. Trudeau has indicated he will take our government, and our spending, which is already well over the top, onto some sort of green platform. John Ivison wrote in the National Post that Liberal insiders and career bureaucrats are very nervous about what Trudeau is going to do. So too should every Canadian. He has already taken our debt into the stratosphere at significantly more than $1 trillion. Our deficit is currently running at about $380 billion. In 1993, when Jean Chrétien assumed government and appointed Paul Martin as the Minister of Finance, our deficit was about $35 billion. He instituted a series of belt-tightening exercises and reined in what was then seen as a runaway economy amid profligate government spending. We are now more than 10 times worse, and with Trudeau's upcoming throne speech, it promises to be much, much worse. And the Prime Minister, the Minister of Finance, Chrystia Freeland, and the Environment Minister, Jonathan Wilkinson, are all promising that addressing climate change will be the government's priority in the upcoming throne speech. The country is in a significant recession, if not depression, post-COVID-19. Businesses are closed and many will never reopen. The Prime Minister is under yet another ethics investigation and perhaps 2 RCMP investigations, all the while he prorogued Parliament in an attempt to deflect criticism and parliamentary committee investigations into the WE scandal. The issue of school reopenings and rebellious teachers' unions have parents across the country very anxious, and the nonsensical issue of climate change is this Prime Minister's priority. This is going to be very expensive. Justin Trudeau is talking about programs to pay for things like retrofitting office buildings with green technology, a new carbon-based tax, and eliminating fossil fuels. He has already done as much damage to the oil and gas sector in Western Canada and fomented a long-dormant Western separation movement that threatens to rip the country apart. Some estimates are that the Liberals will commit north of $100 billion for these initiatives. That is on top of the $380 billion deficit. Spending ourselves into prosperity on this nonsense will not work. Dalton McGuinty proved that when he was Premier of Ontario, and now Justin Trudeau wants to repeat that insanity on a national level. This is reckless and foolish. The throne speech and reacting to it will be the first significant test for newly minted Conservative leader Erin O'Toole, and will give the country a good indicator if he is truly a Prime Minister in waiting or merely a pretender to the throne. And Jagmeet Singh has given no indication if he will do the right thing for the country and vote no confidence in the government, triggering an election as the Liberals try to outflank the NDP on their left. Make no mistake about it, with this huge proposed shift to the left, the leadership of this Prime Minister should be placed before the electorate, and the choice in an election, if triggered, will be clear: dramatic socialist policies or responsible government. For True North, I'm Leo Knight.